I've waffled my way past the point of launch and we are now well on our way to space. I didn't mention it at the time, but you may have noticed Jebediah's extremely graceful entry into the cockpit is because I've got those ladders facing opposite directions in order to, again, keep the ladders designed for disembarking and re-embarking the vessel when it's in the ring attached to the ring itself. I wanted none of the ring essential stuff to be inside the spacecraft itself. Anyway, we are now in the air. Let's talk about the ascent. For the ascent, we have excellent thrust-to-weight ratio, such that despite the huge drag this craft creates, we can be pointing upward pretty much immediately and hold a fairly aggressive angle of attack. By 10 kilometers, we're going to start flattening out in order to pick up lots and lots of horizontal speed, but we do have to be careful because the cockpit of that central ship is very, very sensitive to heat and will likely explode if we go too fast too soon. Once we start losing significant thrust, which is happened around this point in the video, about 20 kilometers, we can fire up the nuclear engine of the Starship. Now, although we're using the engine on the central craft, we're still only draining fuel from the ring. I've disabled the fuel tanks of the Starship itself for now, so that it remains fully fueled once in orbit and ready to detach from the Ascension ring. And that nuclear engine, can push us pretty far. We only had a very small amount of oxidizer for those rapiers to sort of kick us out of the atmosphere just enough that the nuclear engine has enough time to circularize the craft, because we've only got one nuclear engine and the thrust-weight ratio is not great, so we want to make sure we definitely had enough room to circularize. But we did, so it all worked out well in the end.